Yo, what's good, y'all, man? Hey, we back. It's 4133 the pod. I got my boy 500 here. King Ding back. What do you say? The most censored, the most throttled.
Most
Pause.
censored, most throttled. You got to pause because people take throttled to mean something else. You know.
Yeah, man. So how you feeling? OTA's kicked off. You know what I'm saying? Everything looking good. We hearing about people breaking sleds and stuff. So what you feeling, man?
Yeah, I feel great. Are you kidding? Like I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to start. Like I already put a hole in my wall, ran through it. Like I'm ready to play, man. When I see those guys out in the field, it gets me psyched, man. Especially seeing like the guys like DeAndre Swift, Nolan Smith, all the new guys, So I'm fired up, man. I don't know how I'm gonna make it until training camp, to be honest with you. It's awesome.
I see you like that Agent Zero, man. I might have to get a Kelly Green with you. I might have to just go ahead and suck it up.
That looked good, man. I'm waiting for the Kelly Greens.
So we know you're on the West Coast, man. So you going into any of the West Coast games this year?
No, probably not. Probably not.
I don't want to be at a stadium either.
I don't know if I'm allowed in some of the stadiums because they have all those they have all these crazy rules. So I don't know if I'm even allowed at some of them.
Hold on.
I probably won't go. You never know, but I think I want to go to like a home game first. I think that's like the next game I want to
go. Week 13, I'm gonna go to the San Fran game. Me, my brother, and my wife. She's a new fan, so I'm taking her out there so she can see what's going on. I told my brother, I was like, once she get that link, that vibe, that energy you can't withstand, she gonna be locked in forever at that point.
Yep, I agree. I that's what I'll go. I'll go to a home game. I want to go. It's been a while. The last like 3 or 4 I've been to have been all on the road, so I definitely want to go to a home game. Plus I there'll be a lot of people I get to meet and stuff. So that's my next goal is a home game. But it'll have to be like around Christmas time or something when I can get out there.
All right. Well, hey, I got a clip from Nolan Smith I want to play. I want to get your reaction to what he had to say. Let me pop this in.
I don't mind that. I don't care. As long as I get to go out there and hit them up.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't really care about none of that shit. Man, you get warmer the more you hit people. I tell people that.
Also, everybody else is feeling cold and feeling sorry for themselves. So if you're just like, man, I'm going to speed up, everybody else is slowing down.
Now, I tell people, when you take the elements out of all that and stuff, and certain people man, guys from Miami that come up here, they gonna be like, bro, I don't even know what I got on this plate, but I just know my hand's cold as fuck. And then you got a guy on the other side of me like, I'm about to fuck you up.
Exactly, dude. It's all mindset.
I like it.
How you feel about that?
I think he's dead on right. And I think, dude, he's got the perfect attitude for the Eagles. Like that's the attitude you have to have, So I think he's going to be a fan favorite. I'm very excited about him. I saw that in OTAs, he literally was on the first team, second team, and third team. He took reps for everything. So I think the plan with him is going to be find ways to use him, find ways to get him on the field, So I'm very excited about him. I think he's going to be a fan favorite. I really do.
I think they're gonna use him in a lot of those special packages. Last year we didn't really bring in any special pass rusher. I think he could be that guy where you could bring in on 3rd and 8 and say, "Hey, look, put your foot in the ground and go get a sack. You just need the sack." He gonna go get it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. You've got to find ways to get him on the field. I mean, guy ran a 4.39. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I think he's going to be good. I like him. I didn't think 10, people were talking about taking him at 10. I thought that was too early, but I thought he would go like between 15 and 20, somewhere around there. So the fact that they got him where they did was a total steal.
I ain't gonna lie to you. During the draft, I was like, "Oh, we finna trade up. Nolan Smith's still there." And then he fell at 30, and I was just like,
"I know." I know.
Even though the Detroit Lions blew my whole, "Hey, if we don't get Bijan, we get Gibbs" thing, just blew that up. I was like, "All right, Bijan going 8, okay. Gibbs still at 12. He gone." It's like, what you? But we took DeAndre Swift, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I didn't expect. Well, everybody was talking about Atlanta taking Bijan. I didn't think they would take him. Like,
Me neither.
you're gonna really take three skilled players in the draft in the top 10 like 3 years in a row. Like, usually you go interior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. So I thought Atlanta was going to take Jalen Carter. And I was like, all right, so Bijan might fall to us. And I was feeling good about that. But when they took Bijan, then I was like, damn it, we're going to lose Jalen Carter to Chicago, because I thought Chicago would take him. And then we traded up for him. So that was good. But yeah, when they took Gibbs, it was like that was out of like left field. But DeAndre Swift was a great trade. Like, I could not be happier, because to me, like, the whole point of Bijan Robinson was to make your offense better, right? To make your offense more scary. I feel like DeAndre Swift has that same skill set to do that. So I feel like we got that mission accomplished,
I think, and we got him for basically free, right? Because if he was to leave next year, the compensatory we would get would be a 4th round pick.
I don't know what compensatory pick it would be, but you would get a compensatory pick.
I seen somewhere that it said he would be a 4th.
He might. It might be true. I don't know what he would be, but all I know is that he's going to have a big year. I think people are going to be shocked by how good he is.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy we brought in that you would most likely want to resign?
Out of all the free agent wise, yeah.
Yeah, free agents wise.
Yeah, but I know how the Eagles are with running backs. That's the problem. They don't sign running backs. They don't want to pay them big money. But I think DeAndre Swift, DeAndre Swift gives you the element that you didn't have last year. That he's a good receiver out of the backfield. So, Bijan was a good receiver out of the backfield. So was Gibbs. So you add that element to this offense, and to me, you have an even better, more dynamic offense. So I think people are going to fall in love with him because of the way they use him. And I think we're all going to want to sign him, but I don't know if they will.
He's on that fine line. Like, if you have too good of a season, his money too high. If you have too bad of a season, you don't want him here.
Right. Yeah.
And then putting the far right line is almost impossible.
But there are reports, though, that saying the Eagles have told him they're open to giving him a contract, a multiple-year contract now, right, before the season. And he might want to play the last year deal to get more money. But I'm sure the Eagles want to do it so they can get him in a deal,
Do you think that deal? Well, I think that deal will be closer to league starting day. More down the line of July, whatever.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if it happens, but from what I heard is that Swift is like, no, I want to play the last year of my contract out and bet on myself. So I expect him to have a big year.
I think he's gonna be behind this line.
I know.
I think it could be crazy. I think he's better than. I think the running backs we have now is better than what we had with Miles Sanders and Gainwell last year.
It is because I think they're deeper. I think you're deeper, right? I think with him and Penny, you now have guys that can get you 3rd and 1, right? You got guys that are capable of short yardage, and you have a running back that is dynamic out of the backfield as a receiver. So if you use Swift to his abilities, I think you have a much better group than you did a year ago.
So me and you both been looking at Jordan Davis looking slim.
I know.
But I seen him today. He still looked very massive.
He's still huge, but you could tell in his face.
It's defined.
He looks 20 pounds lighter. He even talked about, he worked on his conditioning. And that was the whole thing with him last year. Like you saw him like early in the year, he'd come in and like he'd be sucking air like after 2 plays, and when he sucked the air, everybody went towards him. He was like sucking everything. He's huge.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, pause. But he started, as he started playing, he started like getting conditioned. He started to play pretty good, and then he got hurt, and that really screwed everything up. But I saw it after the draft. Like when they had Nolan Smith and Carter there with him, and he was there, and he was just, you could tell. I mean, he looks. I bet you he's got to be in 325, something like that. But he looks good, man. He looks fast too.
I got a clip from. Hold on, pop this in there one more time. It'll be mad at this.
I mean, Jalen, Devontae, guys that play with each other in college, just it's a different type of chemistry. It's a different type of love. And so having those guys here, definitely exciting. I feel like I'm back in school without school, but it's just really fun. It's really exciting. I'm definitely excited to see those boys grow and to become the men and the leaders that they can be.
I love it. I think he's like, I think he's the guy. I think he's like, when we talked about Jalen Carter coming to a team, I thought that the fact that they had Jordan Davis was a really good thing, because I think he's a really good role model. I think he's a leader. I think he's the perfect fit. I think him and Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean are going to be good. For any fears that anybody have with Jalen Carter, I think having those guys is huge. But he looks thin and he looks in shape, and I think he's going to have a big year.
I was telling people, right, and they don't listen to me because what do I know? But I was telling people that Howie Roseman is manufacturing instant chemistry.
Right.
You get on the field with guys you played with before, you kind of have that sense of he gonna be here, so I need to go here. He gonna do this, so I need to do this. They're gonna counteract each other like those rotating pieces. They're just gonna rotate right along with each other. And then you have Nakobe Dean, who already been giving you play calls. I told him, like, him looking at the defense for a whole year, he can kind of translate how the defense works from Georgia with those guys. He can give them like, hey, look, in Georgia we ran this play. That's the exact same play right here.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, we know how smart Nakobe Dean is and how well he reads everything. He's the perfect guy to get the calls. And I think Nakobe Dean's going to be a huge. Well, I don't think for Eagle fans, I think a lot of us think he's going to be good, but I think a lot of the NFL has really dismissed him because he dropped in the draft. So I think he's going to turn a lot of heads. I really do. I think that whole group is going to be dominating.
I even think the dude Keely Ringo could end up being somewhere in the rotation at some point.
I think this is my opinion on him. I think they should move him to safety. I think he's a safety in the making, because I was reading a bunch of stuff on scouting reports on him, and they were saying a lot of the scouts think that he's going to transition into a safety at some point. So I wouldn't mind doing that. But I thought that was another steal that they got. That was another steal.
Is there a guy? Maybe everybody not tuned into that you looking at to see if he can somehow wiggle his way into this roster and have a breakout season.
Breakout season? I'll tell you who I think people are sleeping on. All right. And this is just a gut feeling that I have. I think that linebacker Nicholas Morrow that they got from Chicago, I think he is the guy that was starting to get better and better each year, and he's kind of coming into his own. And I think Howie Roseman knew that, and I think he knew that it was the perfect time to get him. And I think he's going to be better than people think he is. So that would be my guy.
That's crazy. We on the same page. Like I watched some clips, right? And I seen I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but they played Miami, and he ended up 1-on-1 with Jalen Waddle on about a 25-yard route, and he ran stride for stride with him and got the pass breakup. And
I think,
if he can do what what Kaiser White did last year at the beginning of the year, the whole year, that position right there would be locked down. We'd be straight.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people want the Eagles to get linebacker, and I agree. You could always upgrade linebacker, but I don't think they will. Like I think they like those young guys. I think they want them to play. So I'm good with it. I like where we're at with the linebackers.
Did you see the Buda Baker the Buda Baker rumor is powering back up again?
Yeah, I have a video. I have to edit. I have a video. I have to edit on it. But Buda Baker, the Eagles are named the number one target spot for him. Number one landing spot for Buda Baker.
How do you feel about that?
I think there's something to it. Like, here's what I'll say, right? The Eagles have 4 roster spots open right now. We have 4 spots open. This time of year, Howie in the past has always made a move that's been significant. Okay, last year was James Bradbury. I think we're going to make a move for somebody. I think it's going to be a decent move. I just don't know who. I think it's going to be somebody like Buda Baker or Bayard or DeAndre Hopkins. I think something's coming. I just don't know what it is. And Buda Baker would not surprise me at all if it was him.
I think the DeAndre Hopkins ones look kind of, to me, like every time I hear about players that's out there that's available, and then I hear about it not concerning the Eagles, it concerns me that it concerns the Eagles, because he's one of those guys. He'll make a move when everybody else is saying that the move is going elsewhere.
Well, it goes back to my argument at the draft with Bijan Robinson. Like, why do you want a running back? Why do you want to do it? Like, if you have the chance to make your offense unstoppable, you do it. You do it. Why not? If you get to guys that teams can't stop, they can't stop your offense, then whatever your young defensive players or whatever you lost on defense, you make up for because your offense scores so many points. So to me, it's like the same principle. If you have a chance to go out and get a guy who's going to be a really good third wide receiver for you and come in like that, do it. Wow. You can do it. Do it. That's what I think.
What's your position on Quez Watkins?
I like Quez Watkins in terms, like, I think he has a lot of talent. I think he can play. I think he has it in him. I think he had a bad year. He dropped the ball, and I don't want to trade him, and I don't want to cut him. What I want to do is I want to give him an opportunity to fight for the job, for the spot. I don't want to hand it to him, but I want him to fight for it, because I do think Quez has talent. He's got speed that is just like, the one thing DeAndre Hopkins could not give you the speed he has. He has speed. If we could take advantage of that and we could get him going, it's going to make us that much better. So I like Quez. I have not given up on Quez Watkins at all, but I do think you have to have an open competition. Now, if you can get DeAndre Hopkins, I think you got to do it. But certain things have to play out for that. Like, he wants a big contract for a lot of years. He has to go through that. Nobody signed him. And then when he starts settling for that 1-year deal, that's when the Eagles are in play. That's when we're in play.
So DeAndre Hopkins added to the team. Is that Super Bowl or bust?
Yeah. We're already Super Bowl or bust. Right? We're right. I'm already there. We're already there.
I'm in the same situation. There. I feel it's Super Bowl or bust. We just came off of Super Bowl. We got better. We got to go back.
Yeah, we're Super Bowl or bust now. But to me, here's the thing: if you got DeAndre Hopkins, like, you look at the conferences, right? You have the AFC that is loaded with. There are a lot of good teams, a lot of good quarterbacks. You look at our conference, you have the Eagles, you have San Francisco. Then who else do you have? Like, to me, everybody else is not near us. Like, the Eagles are up here, and then it dropped. So I think the easiest path to get to the Super Bowl is to be with the Eagles. So if DeAndre Hopkins wants to win and he's going to sign a 1-year deal, the easiest path is the Eagles. Because I think if you had him on the Eagles right now, I don't think anybody in the conference can beat you.
Now that you said the San Francisco 49ers, how do you feel about Fred Warner's comments? He came out and said he believed even healthy Brock Purdy would not have beat the Eagles.
He said they would not have?
They would not have beat us.
He's the first 49er player or fan that has said anything logical since that game, because the rest of them have been crying. If he said, you're saying he's saying they would have lost anyways?
That's what I seen on Twitter. I seen him where I guess they had an interview, and he said he believed they weren't ready for what we had on the board. Pretty much, we were more talented.
Then I respect that. I respect that, because everybody else has been crying. Like, when Brock Purdy went out, it was they had that's the only reason we won. So
how do you feel about that new rule that they got implemented? They don't want to say it's for them, but we all know
the three quarterback rule. Yeah, it's fine. To me, I don't know. If you get to your third quarterback, you're probably done anyways. But the thing is, the thing is this is like, why did you only have 2 quarterbacks? Like, why would they have 2 quarterbacks anyways? You know, so to me,
were you already allowed to put more quarterbacks? I know now you get a free roster spot for that third.
Now you get a free roster spot for it, but they would have had to not play somebody else and have a third quarterback. They look what their second quarterback did. He took a beating too. It didn't matter who they had. That they were going to take a beating that day, and that was it. Hassan Reddick
more the offensive line than their quarterback.
Yeah,
I thought it was offensive line play. I don't think they could have stopped us. I don't think they could have stopped Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave for getting back there.
No. Well, why you put a tight end on Hassan Reddick? It's
a backup tight end at that.
You know,
it wasn't even.
I think the 49ers need to come to the realization that maybe their coach is a choker. I mean, how many championship games have they been to? They haven't won. We give the Cowboy problems all the time about them choking. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, who knows?
So, who was it? Sidney Brown. What do you feel about this guy, man? I think he's a day one starter. I think he could come out and probably sit next to Terrell Edmonds or Reed Blankenship. I think we could use Terrell Edmonds as that extra linebacker that you wanted to bring in. I think he could be that fill the hole type of guy.
Yeah. Well, the thing here's what I'll say. I think when you look at both day 2 picks, they have the best chance to start. Tyler Steen has a chance to win a job, and I think Sidney Brown has a chance to win the job. So I think they're both going to get an opportunity. And from everything we're hearing about Sidney Brown, like today, he was all over the place. I really think those were 2 good picks. Look, we may have 4 guys, like 3 of them starting, and then Nolan Smith rotating in. So I think Brown was a great pick. You know, I'm very excited to see him play. I like everything I've heard about him. I didn't watch him in college enough to tell you, you know, for sure one way or the other. But
who's watching Illinois football? Let's be real.
Yeah. So I but from everything I've heard and read about him and went back and watched, I think he's got a lot of upside.
I don't know if it's true, right? I didn't hear Lane Johnson's voice say it, but how do you feel about him saying he doesn't want to play next to a small guy like Cam Jurgens? He would prefer Steen to get the job.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know he said that.
I seen it on Twitter too, and it was just like, I guess he was saying like he would prefer to be next to somebody more the size of like Isaac Seumalo than a smaller guy.
Yeah. I mean, I get why he would, I guess, but that would kind of surprise me. He said that, but
I think he was more speaking. I don't think. See, when I read it, right, I didn't think he was necessarily talking about Cam Jurgens. I want to see the whole interview, but I think somewhere they asked him like, "Hey, would you like to play next to a small guy?" He was like, "You know, if it was my preference, I would prefer a big meat eater like me."
Yeah.
You know,
we don't know how like you said how he said it. Like, to me, listen, if you say, well, would you rather play next to a big guy or small guy, you're gonna, offensive line, you're gonna say big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Guy.
So it's like asking a quarterback, would you rather have a slow receiver or a fast receiver? You know what I'm saying? So I don't put much stock into it.
I think they turned it into more of a Cam Jurgens thing, and I think it was more of a reference of overall, like in general, like, hey man, you know, the question got asked, he said, hey, I prefer a big guy. And then they turned into, well, Cam Jurgens isn't a big guy, so he doesn't want to play next to Cam Jurgens. No,
exactly.
That's not what I said.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They always do that.
I think Tyler Steen should redshirt a year though.
I mean, to me, if he's ready, and Stoutland had him in Alabama, so Stoutland knows him, I think, right? Oh, not
right.
No, I'm thinking
right. Yeah, you're right.
But Stoutland can get anybody ready. So if he can get him ready and he can win the job and he just flat out win it, I'm okay with it. Give him a chance. Give him open competition. I'm okay with that. But if not, I think Cam Jurgens is more than capable, dude.
The only reason I say that, I feel Cam Jurgens been with Stoutland for a year, been with the organization a year. He knows the playbook. He kind of knows a little bit. He's in tune with those guys. But best man got to be on the field. That's the end of the day. Best guy plays. So if he the best guy, I mean, I take that back if he redshirt. But I'm just if it was me, I feel like Tyler Steen ready. I mean, I feel like Cam Jurgens is ready. He seems ready.
Well, you know, when we got Landon Dickerson, we got Landon Dickerson to play center.
Oh yeah, we did.
And he was supposed to be center, and he was so dominant at left guard, they couldn't move him back. So maybe if they put Jurgens at right guard and he's so dominant, then we need another center. I don't know. But yeah.
You might be right. I might need to let Tyler speak. I don't want to be for another center.
I just want the best player to win the job.
I don't think our offensive line miss a beat. Whoever you put right there in that spot, they in between two Hall of Famers.
No, they're not going to miss a beat. That offensive line that offensive line is underrated. Like you talk about the great offensive lines, like back in the 80s with the Washington and the Hogs, and then Dallas had a great offensive line in the 90s. I think the Eagles' offensive line is up there, but I don't think because we didn't win a Super Bowl this year, they haven't gotten the credit they deserve. I really think they're amongst one of the great offensive lines I've seen in a long time.
Well, now people are actually starting to quote us. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see it a lot more where they're telling people like, hey, the Eagles have the best offensive line. Last year, it seemed that way.
And it's not close. To me, it's not even close. That's why I'm saying, like, you're putting DeAndre Swift behind that offensive line. Forget about it. It's a whole nother level,
I was watching a little video today, and I seen they were doing the little check down route where you go kind of out to the flat, and then you cut that kick real fast.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I was missing from the offense last year.
Right. Exactly.
We never had that. And then Jalen Hurts, people don't understand football. If I don't have a check down, man, my next best option, if I'm mobile, is to run.
It's to run. Yep. Exactly. And I tell you what, like I would stream the games, and I can't tell you how many times I would be screaming, dude, you got to run a screen to the running back right here. There's nobody 30 yards if you just dump it off, but they didn't. They liked the receiver screen, but those running back screens were wide open. And if you have a running back that is a threat to dump the ball off to, and you have to deal with that and Jalen Hurts running, it's very hard to stop. Very hard.
I think last year was a trust factor too with Miles Sanders, because now that he's gone, I'm hearing all this like, oh, he had drop problems and he had this and that. Yeah. I'm like, his rookie season, I watched him be both running back and receiving back.
I know he did great his rookie year. Then he struggled the second year, and then it's like they kind of went away from it. I mean, I think Gainwell got more out of the backfield receiving than Miles. So I think DeAndre Swift is that guy that can do both, though, at a high level.
I think so too. But I heard today, right, about our guy, Bijan. I heard they're going to use him as a Swiss Army knife. How you feel about
that? I don't know. I mean,
I think Atlanta's trash. First of all, before we even start, they're a dumpster fire. But you do got a guy like Bijan. You do got a guy like Michael Pitts. I think your quarterback stinks.
Though that's the problem. The way I see it, if he's going to be on a team with a bad quarterback, what are defenses going to do? They're going to try to stop Bijan and make the quarterback beat you. So to me, Bijan, I don't know how good immediately he'll be. Because I don't know how good their quarterback is. If you don't have a good quarterback and all you have is that running game, I think it's a waste, to be honest with you. It's like I don't get why a team that's that far away from winning or being a contender to a Super Bowl that don't even know if they have a quarterback, why they would waste a top 10 pick on a running back.
But you just had a 1,000-yard rookie last year.
Yeah.
They just had a 1,000-yard rookie. Why would you take another running back?
I just don't get it. I think they think that if they give their quarterback enough weapons, he'll be okay, but it don't work that way. The Eagles were Super Bowl contenders. It would have been a lot different for them to make that move. But I think the Falcons screwed up, but we'll see. I mean, I think Bijan's going to be good. I just don't know how good he'll be right away playing in Atlanta. We don't know how good. I don't know how good Ritter is going to be. I don't know.
I think he's gonna need a couple more years, man. Because what I seen out of him, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
People try to compare him to Jalen Hurts, though. That's why I brought it up. People are saying like, oh, he's in the same progression as Jalen Hurts his rookie year. Now he's going into his second year. He should progress like Jalen Hurts. He can make the Falcons a 9-win team. And I'm like, he does not look like Jalen Hurts in his rookie year.
No, but Jalen Hurts also had that offensive line in front of him. Because remember his second year when we got in the playoffs, like we were a run first team. and it slowed, allowed Jalen Hurts to slow the game up to get used to and to get comfortable. I don't know that they have that kind of line in front of him that the Eagles had.
Can you give me I know it's early, it's June. Can you give me some type of stat line for Jalen Hurts this year? Where you think he could elevate his game and what he could bring to the table?
So I think Hurts is going to throw for 30. We'll say I'll say between 30 and 33, 34 touchdown passes. So I think he throws for 30 at least. I think he runs for at least 10 more. I think he throws for over 4,000 yards. And I'll say like 31 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, and then I see another 10 on the ground running. I think his rushing numbers come down a little bit, but his passing numbers go up. That's what I think. I think they'll run him a little less, not a lot, but a little bit, and he'll throw more.
Yeah, I went with like 45 touchdowns. I think he have like 30, 32 to 33 passing, and another like 10 to 12 running.
That's
and I can see him. I can see him putting up like 4,400 yards passing.
Yeah,
probably another 300, 400 rushing.
Here's the guy you got to watch. I'm going to tell you the guy that I think is going to be a monster. He's going to be a monster. Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's about to go off. Like, I think Devontae Smith is going to be a top 5 receiver when this year's over. I think he'll have more catches and yards than A.J. Brown. I like A.J. Brown. I think Devontae Smith is that dude. I do.
I think people are going to adjust their defense to A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
and they're going to forget about Devontae Smith because they're going to look at that end number and they're going to say, we got to stop A.J.
Yeah,
you're gonna leave a lot of them cornerbacks out there with a guy you think ain't that fast and you think can't get that open.
Yeah.
With Devontae Smith, he's gonna be burning people.
Well, the thing is if you look how they use Devontae Smith early in the year, they use him a lot of short routes, right? And they were using Quez a lot more on the deep routes. Well, once they kind of phased Quez out, he started taking a lot more intermediate and deep routes. That's why his yardages he didn't have as many yards, to go with his catches, because early on he didn't have tons of yards. He'd have a lot of catches, not tons of yards. But as the year went on, he did more and more downfield, and I think they know how to utilize him much more. So he had 95 catches last year. I think he gets over 100 this year.
I called my brother after that Detroit game. I was fuming. I was like, they didn't get Devontae Smith the ball. They brought AJ here to get rid of Devontae. I was upset.
Not one catch in that game.
Did he? It was 0 catches, right? Zero.
Yeah, nothing.
0.
No, I don't even know. I think he only had I think they only threw to him like twice.
Yeah, and I was so mad. He was like, bro, just chill. They gonna get him the ball. I was like, nah, it's just it's not the fact of getting him the ball. That game probably would have been way more out of reach if you were using Devontae and AJ.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's the way it's going to be sometimes. And that's some of the argument with like DeAndre Hopkins. Like, why get DeAndre Hopkins? There's not enough balls to go around. I don't make there enough. There's enough. Do it. You
see that? You see that, Philly?
Oh, Dak threw a pick today.
He gonna do that regardless. Y'all can't stop it, man. Y'all can whatever.
Dak stinks. They stink. The Cowboys are overrated. Cowboys.
Do you really think? I see a lot of people saying it, but do you really think he's even close to Jalen Hurts?
No.
I don't either.
I think Dak. If we're not trolling, and I'm not trolling and trying to piss Mark Holmes off. Like, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good. I see him a lot like Kirk Cousins, like a good regular season quarterback, but he doesn't win big games. The guy's going 8th or 9th year, right? I did a video on this whole thing yesterday. There's a guy that they talk about. Oh, he's got 27-7 record in the NFC East. He's got a great division record against all the teams in the division. Yet he hasn't won a division 2 times in a row. He hasn't gotten out of second round of playoffs. So he's basically wasted all that time that they had to have a good record. He's wasted it and done nothing with it. Now you got a team like the Eagles who are a powerhouse, and I think they blew their shot. I think their window's closing, is what I'm saying. I think
I told somebody I think Dak to me is James Harden.
Yeah,
He has great regular seasons. He ball out, and then when you need him in the playoffs, he curl up in the corner. He grab the blanket.
Nothing. Yeah,
and he hides. Because every I even thought last year, like if you watch some of my not my videos, but like some of my comments and y'all in the videos, I was saying like I thought they would be in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Because after he beat Tampa, I was like, oh, he gonna beat San Fran, like.
Yeah.
And then he lose in a fashion where you couldn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah. He don't look good. That's been his whole, and I don't understand how the Cowboy fans just give him a pass every year. They give him a pass and they want to talk about how great he is. He's done nothing. He's done nothing when it counts. Jalen Hurts has won more playoff games than him.
Right.
Already.
It's 2-2, right?
Huh?
They both have 2 wins, right?
Jalen has, what does Jalen have? Jalen beat the Giants. No, Jalen has 3. Oh no, he has 2. Yeah, you're right.
2.
But he's won a championship.
He's 2-1, and
right.
But he's 2-5.
But he won the NFC conference. He won it. Dak didn't, and Dak. There were a couple. I think twice they were like the number 1 seed and lost.
They've had the teams though. They've had the teams.
Yeah, they've had consistently since the last 8 years. Consistently, they probably have had better teams. We've kind of been up and down, right? We won the Super Bowl, then we kind of rebuild. They've been consistent, but they've done nothing with it. They've squandered it. And now I don't think their team's nearly as good as the Eagles.
I don't think we have as many of those up and down years anymore, man. I think Howie figured it out.
I agree.
As you say, calculate the calculation of the cornbread. I think he has mastered the calculations. I don't think he's gonna go backwards again.
No, I don't either. I think we're well on our way. And now, you look at the draft with the defensive foundation we have. I mean, look at the young guys on defense you have, right? You have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, you have Nakobe Dean, you have Nolan Smith, you have Sidney Brown. You've got foundation to build your defense around for years to come too. So, I think the Eagles are going to be good for a long time. There's no doubt about it.
So, Philly, you a big guy. I like the trenches. You like the trenches. Who's your starting defensive line week 1? Week 1, game 1.
Week 1. I think you got Brandon Graham. It'll be Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter. We're doing 3 or 4. Are we running a 3-4 or run the 4?
Run the 4.
Run the 4.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna have Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat will be your 4. I think Jordan Davis rotates in on rundowns, and then of course you have Hassan Reddick off the edge, and I think Nolan Smith rotates in too. That's what I agree.
I agree with you up until Fletcher Cox.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I honestly believe if they knew before they signed him, Jalen Carter was on the way, Fletch wouldn't be here. I don't think he would have been re-signed. So I think he's the rotation guy, and Jordan Davis is the one next to Jalen Carter.
I hope that's what I want. That's the best case scenario because you want those young guys to play and take over. I like it. To me, the whole thing with Jordan Davis is just a matter of, is he in shape and does he get better at learning to be a pass rusher? To me, he's never going to be a 10-sack guy, but I think if he could get you 5 sacks a year, I think that's great.
I think down the stretch, though, he was getting a lot of pressure. He was getting a lot of the pressure.
He should have sacked. He should have had 2 sacks on Carson Wentz.
He had Mahomes too.
Yeah, he had Mahomes too. Yeah, and he had Carson twice in that one game versus Washington. But the thing is, I went back and watched all his snaps. If you block him 1-on-1, he just pushes guys back, like literally like 5 yards back at time. Like you can't block him 1-on-1. So if he's in shape and he's taking on that double team, you're makes basically a 1-on-1 with Jalen Carter. I mean, he's going to dominate.
Graham. Oh yeah, see, he got the same thing I got. Stu. He got Graham.
I like
Davis,
that's I prefer that. I'm going with Fletcher Cox early because he's Fletcher Cox, but
yeah,
I prefer Davis. You want those young guys to win it and take it. You know.
Do you think Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox will be back on his defense next year?
I don't think Fletcher Cox.
I was going to say I think Graham is more dependent on Super Bowl run.
Graham, I think, has a chance for 2 more years, especially if he's productive. Like he had double digits. He had his best year of his career last year. So I think he could give you 2 more years. Yeah, which is crazy. I think Graham can give you 2 years. I think Fletcher Cox is done after this. I do.
So you said Swift is your so I see Swift is your offensive player of the year, right? As the newcomer. And the defense was N'Kobe Dean, right?
Devontae's my player of the year. He's my player of the year. I think, but
who's your defensive player of the year then?
That's a great question. I'm gonna say Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is going to make a huge impact as a rookie.
Hey Nana, we're using Hassan Reddick as a linebacker at this point, so he's automatically on the field. We just talking about guys with their hand in the ground. So Reddick is automatically on the edge.
Yeah, we're talking about four downmen. So if it's a 3-4, it's a little different. But you know,
if it's 3-4, then you have to have what? You have 2 rushes, so it'll be Sweat.
You probably have
Davis,
and Davis in the middle, and then you have Hassan Reddick coming, so on the edge. Yeah, I mean, if you look at those guys, I mean, you could put Carter at the defensive end in a 3-4 too. Like you've got so much you can do with those guys. You know, I hope that they really run a hybrid style. You know, that's what I want to see. But I want them to blitz more. I want them to be more aggressive than they were last year.
You think there's a move coming? I know you said you think it's a move coming. Where's the biggest need for that move? Is it edge rusher?
Well, I mean, you can never have enough edge rushers. You know, you can never have enough pass rushers. Yannick Ngakoue is sitting out there. He's probably cheap. He had 9.5 sacks last year.
And he wanted to play for us.
And he did want to play for us a few years ago. As far as like, if we're going by need, I think safety. I think if you're going strictly on need, safety. If you're going on who makes the biggest impact, I think it's a wide receiver. Because if you add a wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, there's no weaknesses on your offense. Like, how do you stop that offense? It's very, very hard, you know. But I don't know if that's realistic because I don't know, you know, how the other players feel about that. But I think Howie's got 4 open roster spots. He's going to do something. I just don't know what it is, you know, and it may be somebody we're not even thinking. I mean, look what he did with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We didn't see that coming. So maybe it's somebody we're not even thinking about. But if it's like, you know, I could see it being anything from like I could see DeAndre Hopkins, right, trying to sign a big contract. Nobody gives him the money he wants. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to do a 1-year deal. At that point, that's when I think the Eagles have a chance to get him.
And he got Devontae Smith agent now. So
yeah.
So I seen a stat today where the guy that he signed has 3 clients, right? They're all in the NFC East and they're all on different teams. The only team that he does not represent right now is the Cowboys.
Yeah, I just read a thing. The Cowboys were out on the DeAndre Hopkins sweepstakes.
I thought they were out anyways. I mean, you went and got Brandon Cooks. You left the man on the hot seat. Why would he want to go play for you anyway? Yeah,
exactly.
I think we're in a good cap space, right? What, 14 million?
I think 13.4.
Did we get it? We didn't get any money today, right? Like other teams
not
did.
That I know of. I
see the Cowboys earn like what, 10 million a day or something like that. I see.
Yeah, I think they got another 10 million, something like that.
We must have. They got that from Zeke.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is let's say the Eagles wanted to sign DeAndre Hopkins because everybody will go, oh, you can't afford him. Sure, you can. Let's say it's a 1-year deal. All you do is you structure it the right way. Like you say, all right, we'll give you $17 million for 1 year. You give them a $10 million signing bonus. You give them another role. So by the time you work out all the bonuses, Howie can manipulate that where it's like a $4 million hit, $5 million hit. You know, Howie always is good at that. You know, they also know how to add like, years to the back end of contract where it's just, it's not real. So there's always ways to manipulate it. So when people say that somebody, especially the Eagles, don't have money, I just laugh because they've been saying that for 5 years and it hasn't stopped us doing anything.
It makes you think the cap isn't real, but then you look at it, you're like, okay, cap real, but he know how to make the money work. He know how to pay you up front. He know how to put it as a roster bonus. He know how to move money down the line.
You remember what everybody was saying. Oh, you can't get nobody this also. You can't do anything.
Bradbury's supposed to been gone. CJ, Hargrave, everybody.
Because of Jalen Carter. I mean, not because Jalen Hurts' contract. You look at Jalen Hurts' contract. It doesn't hurt us for years.
Until year 5.
Yeah, and then what they're going to do is year 5, they're just going to renegotiate and give them a new deal, and that's what they'll do. The thing is, the whole thing about getting people and who they're going to go out and get, the whole reason why you structured Jalen Hurts' contract the way you did was for moments like this. That's how I see it. So if DeAndre Hopkins comes available, if something comes available, you have the opportunity to get it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins or not. I don't know. But I just think from my personal opinion is who could stop your offense with like, how do you stop that offense? They're going to score 30-something points a game.
Maybe 40 a game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to stop them. So if you could put that much pressure on teams and defenses, do it. But maybe it is. Maybe it's Budda Baker. Maybe it's somebody we're not even thinking about, sitting on Denver or sitting in LA, I don't know.
But see, I think it ain't D-Hop. I think a dude like you just said Denver. Sutton, is that his name? Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton. Yeah,
I heard he's way down the depth chart now. They still got you got a Hunter Renfro out there. You got guys you could bring in that could be impactful.
Yeah, they're definitely there's definitely guys that they could bring in. It's going to be interesting, the thing with DeAndre Hopkins also is he's not, you don't have to trade for him. He's a free agent. It costs you nothing. That's why I like Yannick Ngakoue. Like if I couldn't get DeAndre Hopkins, I want them to sign Yannick Ngakoue because I want more defense. I want more pass rushers. Give me as many pass rushers as I can get. I'll take them.
What about Leonard Floyd? I don't really know too much about his background, but I see he got average 9 sacks the last 2 years.
He did 9 sacks. I think he wants more money though. Like I think he wants big money. I think Yannick would be a little cheaper. So
Leonard Floyd is what? Is he's upper 20s though, right? He's almost 30, right?
I want to say I thought he was 30.
29, 30 years old, right?
He's a little older than I think Yannick is 28, I think.
Okay.
So he's a little younger. But
what about Campbell?
Calais Campbell?
Isn't he out there? He a free agent, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he's still out there, if he retired, or I don't know what his story is.
How you feel about Sue?
Yeah, if Sue wants to come back during the season, I'm all for it. Yeah, I think he's a good rotational piece, especially if you have injuries or something, So yeah, I think, but he's not coming in until the season starts because he doesn't want to go through training camp and all that. And I don't blame him at all. He was really effective for us last year. So, yeah, I had no problem.
He barely had any time with us. So I imagine him coming in a little earlier this time, actually getting acclimated to the defense. He could be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he still can play. So, yeah, I'm all for that, But you got 4 roster spots open. Well, Howie ain't sitting by in 4 roster spots. So he's going to bring guys in who I don't know. I have no idea.
So we got the harder schedule now. What's your prediction, man? How do you see this working out for us? I know we got that stretch where it's a jumble of effectively could be good teams, and then supposedly the beginning of the season is supposed to be a cakewalk. But I think the whole thing is not as hyped up as people want to make it seem.
I think the schedule actually is not that bad because I think a lot of the tough games are at home. You know, I think the toughest game is that Kansas City game. That's the toughest game. I got the Eagles winning probably 14 games this year again. I think between 11 and 15 wins, somewhere in that range.
I'm in the 12 to 15 range too.
Yeah, so I think on my like little predictions, I think I had 14 or 15 wins, but I do think they sweep Dallas.
I think so too. I said the same thing. You know what? If there's only one team in the NFC East we won't sweep, and y'all can clip me on this, the Giants, because we won't be playing in week 18.
Right, we're gonna be sitting everybody. That's right.
So y'all can have that win. Everybody else will be getting payback this year.
Yep, a lot of people got mad at me because I said the Chiefs game was a loss, but I'm like, that's a tough game, man. You got to pick a loss somewhere. I can't have them go 17-0, you know.
And hey, listen, it's gonna be. I told somebody this. It's gonna be just like the Super Bowl. We both come off bye weeks.
Yeah,
we just so happen to have our bye week the same week. They play each other next week. So you giving Andy Reid another opportunity to prepare for us.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be one of those games that's gonna come, and then they talking about D-Hop might go to the Chiefs. Oh,
yeah. I think if he does a 1-year deal, I think they'd be open to it. But I think the Eagles will win like 14 games. But the thing is, I don't think the conference is that good. So I think that they're going to be way ahead of everybody early in the year, and they're just going to run away with it. I really think that.
I think that week 1 game, my biggest take for that week 1 game, I want to see James Bradbury put his hands on TikTok boy and just show him up the whole game. I don't want him to I want him to be on the white on rice. Like I just want to see him and I want him to see him talk. I want to see him talking shit. I really do.
Yeah.
I want him to get in his ear.
I want him to knock him into next week. I don't think New England's going to. I don't think New England's all that. I'm not really big on their quarterback. I think the Eagles have no problem that game.
Okay, Calais signed with Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay. Yeah. So
it was a good try. I mean, it was a nice guy.
Yeah. We got to see who shakes free. You know, today's June 1st, so tomorrow everybody gets their money and stuff like that. So we'll start seeing movement.
So you said you want to go. Well, I don't know if you're gonna go this year, but if you could go to a game this year, which game would you pick to go to? I picked week 13 because I got to be in the building to watch us play San Fran.
Yeah. It would be either the 49ers or a division game. I love the division games, so I always want to go to a division game. So it'd be either the Cowboys or the Niners. It'd be one of those. I
got to get to one of those games. I got to go to a division game. I really want to go to Jerry World though. I want to see that stadium.
I've seen the Eagles play in the Meadowlands. I've seen the Eagles play in Washington. I've seen them in Philly. Dallas is the only stadium in the division I've never gone.
Me and you might have to link up and figure out a way to get that together.
Yeah, let's plan it and do it, and let's just go.
I'm
down.
Yeah, I'm ready to cheer as we sweep y'all.
I think I'll probably end up in jail that night. I have a feel.
I won't let you go to jail with me, Fab. I won't let you go to jail with me. Hey, I'll throw a beer at him and we'll run away. We'll get away, goddamn. I'm not letting you go to jail with me.
I better start jogging and get my wind up.
My wife and kids like watching your stuff too much. So if I let you go to jail, I don't think I ever live it down.
Dallas, they might want to kill me when I get over there. They're gonna treat me like JFK.
They're gonna try to assassinate my boy
because I get them Cowboy fans so pissed off at me. So
I don't know. I think they gave us this hard schedule, but I don't really think it's packed up like that, man. I think a lot of these, and you don't even really know what these teams are gonna be. This is based on last year.
Yeah,
you could come in and half these teams could stink.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. You never know, and then there's always injury. You could be looking at Buffalo going, "Oh, that's a tough game," and then Josh Allen doesn't play. So you just never know how it's going to shake up. But the way it looks on paper, I still think we win 14 games. I do.
Well, I know your favorite guy is our kick returner, but can we find somebody else? Do you have somebody else in mind that we can get crash test Kobe?
I don't know who. I don't know who we could get, and I don't know who's out there. But there's got to be somebody on like a practice squad team on one of these Raws, and you could just pluck them. Like, dude, they need a returner so bad. Like, if you had a returner, somebody that could legitimately change the field position, like this offense would score even more points. You know how many times we start at like the 25-yard line and like we hold the ball, but we get down to like the 40 and then we have to like punt or we're just out field goal range. Like if we could start at like the 35 or our own 40 more, you know, we'd get a lot more points.
He did a lot of. It was a lot of times where I was like, "Run the ball, go left, go right, make a move to the side, and you run right into the pile." Like it just drove me crazy.
Like the pile could be on the left, and he's running right, and it's like a magnet, boom, right into the wall of these guys.
I want to see Devin Allen though.
I would like to see Devin Allen too. I mean, he looked good. Like he looked like he was getting used to things in preseason. And I would like to see him. I don't know. Maybe they don't think he can do returns, but
do you think it came? I think it came down to we brought Covey up those 3 times, and if we took him back, he couldn't come back up. I think they were like, you know, let's give Devin Allen a year to get acclimated, get football shape, and then we, you know, maybe this year they experiment.
Yeah,
he's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, probably some truth to that. Definitely,
he gotta be willing to go left and right. Jesus.
Yeah.
Kobe was just straight ahead, tunnel vision. It was like pile in front of me. I'm going towards the pile. Hit me as hard as you can.
I surprised. Like I thought they were going to break him. Like I didn't think he was going to make it through the year. Like I thought there were times he was like, this guy's not making it this year because he takes some hits, man.
Well, Nana K, Boston Scott. I remember him being more of a kick returner last year, but they still left Covey on punt return.
Yeah, I mean, I think Boston Scott would probably be what I would do too. Like I would probably, unless I can get somebody else, I would probably put Boston Scott because at least I trust him catching the ball. Like I get nervous with Covey. Like he makes me nervous. So
you said receiver earlier too. I remember you saying receiver earlier. What about DJ?
I don't think he could make it 2 weeks without pulling a hamstring.
Hey, I was waiting for you to say it. The last 4 years he hasn't played more than 2 games.
Yeah, he'll come out, he'll run one punt back, and they'll be limping off the field. That'll be it. I mean, he got hurt right here, his groin. He rehabbed for 8 weeks and then came back in that Chicago game and went one drive and was out for the year.
Then he caught the touchdown, right? The first time he caught the touchdown.
The first week he caught a touchdown. The next week I think it was Atlanta. He got hurt, and then he didn't want to have surgery. If he would just had surgery, he would have been back 8 weeks later. And he waited. Came back for that Chicago game, went one series and was out the rest of the year. Then the following year, he was, he came back and he was hurt again. And then he got hurt on the punt return. It was kind of a cheap shot by the Giants, if you remember. But yeah, I just think he's old. I just think he's too old. I don't think you can reliably put him back there and he's going to make it through the year. I love Deshaun Jackson. I do. But I don't want to be dealing with him hurt again,
I think the only way I'll sign DJ, right, is like week 18, we're just gonna take you on the Super Bowl run, and you're not getting one play until the Super Bowl, and it'd probably be like a kick return, and then that'll be that. I don't think I would give him. I mean, I want to see him get a ring because I felt like that team should have got a ring. That Chip Kelly team was pretty much in a great position, and
if they would have kept. If he would have just kept that team together, they would have won a Super Bowl. I believe they would have won a Super Bowl. Maybe not with Chip Kelly as coach, but if you would have kept Foles and kept Deshaun and Macklin and McCoy, I think eventually you would have won a Super Bowl.
Hey, Travis, I want to say you're welcome, and I want to say thank you, bro, because without you, we wouldn't be here sitting here talking. It'd just be me and Philly500 having a cordial conversation about our Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, we thank you, man. Hey, I know y'all tune in to Philly a lot. I hope one day I can be in that position, man. That y'all tuning in to me every day.
Yeah, you're getting I like what you're doing, man, on your channel. You're doing great. Just got to keep going.
Oh, I'm not gonna stop, man. I love the Eagles too much. That like my wife was now having a conversation, right? I'm a Florida State fan. Florida State been really stinking it up the last few years. She said that every year that they stink is more you love Philly. Like it's a hard thing, man. Like I used to be a full-time fan, right? I was always a full-time fan, but I used to be more of a free agency, off-season guy because that was my time. Like I knew college football, so when it was time to merge over, it was easy for me to like talk about who's coming out. And now it seems like the whole season, I'm more noticing what's going on, stats.
Yeah.
I'm logged in a lot more than I was before.
Yeah, the NFL, it's become like it's like a 365, man. Like there is no off season anymore, you know. Like with the Super Bowl, it was like Super Bowl's done, and it was like a week later free agency started. Like there has been no downtime at all, you know.
Yeah, man.
We'll get it. We'll get it next month though. We'll get
June. You said like here in the next week or so, and then to the middle of July.
Yeah. Once they finish those OTAs, they're done for like a month until training camp, till the end of July, till training camp starts. So from like June 10th to like July 20th, it's like dead. It's going to be dead.
They got
the
a
only
question
thing that'll
for you,
happen. The only thing that'll happen is that's when the Cowboys get arrested. So that's Cowboys arresting time. So we'll be talking about that.
They got since we hitting the hour mark. This is gonna be one of my closing topics. Is Jalen Carter the Jerome rebirth?
99 right here. I don't know. I think he's got the best. I think he's the best talent I've seen that has the chance to do it. Like now, Dan Cilio, he used to play with Jerome Brown in college. He played right next to him. He said that in the 25 years, since Jerome's been gone, he's never compared anybody to him. He thinks this kid actually has the talent. So I think that he has the potential. We got to see we got to see it. But I think he's the closest guy we've had because I like Fletcher Cox, but he was no Jerome Brown. Jerome Brown, if he would have lived, he would have been the best defensive tackle ever to play the game, in my opinion.
What was Reggie White? He wasn't tackle. He was a deep tackle.
Defensive end.
Okay.
Defensive end. Jerome,
but they played him like a tackle though, didn't they?
Well, he was 300-pound defensive end, and he could run. So you could use Reggie White. They would use Reggie on passing downs inside. You could let him rush over the middle, like over the football. So
for him to be 300 pounds, he got a lot of sacks.
Yeah, 120 something. I mean, geez, he had 21 and a half sacks in 12 games one year. Reggie White was the best defensive player, in my opinion, I've ever seen on the Eagles. Yeah, he was that guy. Jerome was on his way to a Hall of Fame career, but he died early.
Yeah.
And then Clyde Simmons. People forget about Clyde. Clyde Simmons was really, really good. He to me should be a Hall of Famer himself.
Yeah, he's like third on the list all time for the Eagles.
Yeah, he would have 19 sacks, 17 sacks. He had huge years, and everybody said, well, it's because he plays with Reggie and Jerome. And then when Jerome died and Reggie left, he still produced. He still was good. So
when you think about it, we don't had a slew of great linemen come through here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trent, he came through. We don't have some guys.
Trent Cole,
Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. We've had. I don't understand why they don't.
I think Jalen Carter.
Philly trenches.
I think Jalen Carter's got the best. Got the best chance to be like Jerome Brown since Jerome Brown. We'll see.
Well, Philly5, give me your take out of here, man. Let me see what you talk about, man. What you feeling? Tell the people how you feeling. Whatever on your mind. It don't really matter. Just close us out with something sweet.
So here's what's on my mind. 4 roster spots open. To me, that's like a box of cannolis for Philly500. Like that's dangerous. You give Howie Roseman 4 open roster spots, $13.4 million. And we're post June 1st. I think something's coming. I don't know what it is. I don't know when, but I think the Eagles are not done, and they're going to shock everybody with something within, I'll say, the next month and a half. So I'm expecting. That's what's on my mind now because I think Howie Roseman is still working, and that's what I've been thinking about.
Well, hold on. Wait 1 second.
Money is nice. Championships are better.
There you go.
That's what's on my mind. I want to see Jalen Hurts throwing that rock again. I want to see us back on the field. I want people to respect us. I don't think all that from last year, the 14-3 last year, they were, oh, y'all played nope. This year, that's not going to be said. That's not going to be grounds for speaking because you gave us the hardest competition. You put us in a position. I think Super Bowl 58 is where you can mark us down at. I think so. Me personally, I'm going to start selling plasma, see if I can remortgage somebody's house. Not my house. I don't want to lose my house. I want to lose my else's house. See if I can remortgage somebody else's house, sell a few cars, something. I'm trying to get out there, man. I'm trying to be a face.
I like it. I like it. My prediction, my early prediction is Eagles Chiefs rematch Super Bowl.
I think so too.
I think we got a rematch.
Hey man, so y'all like, subscribe, comment. If you're not already subscribed to 5 Below, you're slipping, you're sleeping. You need to get up, put your slippers on, go to your laptop, type it in on YouTube. Philly500 is linked in the description. Go sub my man up. He got the best content coming out of the Eagles right now. You can't stop it. Over. And then when you're done, right? Circle back. Hey, look. You can catch more of this every time. This is the second time I had this man on. It's a great pleasure, man. It's one of those vibes. It's uncontrollable, man. It's almost like we've been friends. We known each other. When you put this green on, you get these wings on. You can find me right here, man.
There you go.
Until next time, man.